In this video, we're going to look at setting up your tickets with a little bit more information. And this is the information that you want to convey to people that are purchasing tickets on the system from you as an agent. Now, I am logged on here as an agent, and I'm just going to look at the listing itself, and you'll see that there are certain places where information is shown. Obviously, we have our synopsis information over here for the show itself, and that's all governed by what you set up in the actual event record. But here we have other information, and including, we can see down here there is actually text, and it's called, I've just called it show ticket info, and it's just some general sort of info about the show itself. And this is more, okay, there's synopsis information here, but you may want to provide information about the show that is particular, that is not synopsis, that's more about the event itself. It could be some explanatory notes, it could be some conditions about the show, something that's not covered in here with respect to, say, rating or duration or the standard fields where you actually want to include information. We also have the ability to include information on the exhibition itself, and you can see I've just called it the exhibition info for want of a better term, and also actually on the ticket itself we've got ticketing information as well. Now there is other places where information is shown here, terms and conditions turn up depending on what ticket people select. And then obviously right at the bottom here we've got managed by, in this case it's Coast Box Office, but it would be your agency. And we have there again general information about the agency, not specifically terms and conditions, because we do encourage you to actually have a link to your terms and conditions. And the reason for that is that quite often T's and C's are quite lengthy, and it just takes up too much real estate on the screen. So we encourage you to have your own, link to your own website where you have your T's and C's or your privacy policy. But just put down here general information, and it might be, I've got some basic blurb there about some T's and C's, but I've just called it general agent general info, just so we can see where it actually comes from. Now all of these fields are optional, but I'll show you how you set them up, and it really is up to you how you really want to set them up. We'll just look at our agent record for a minute here, and we can see that here under general information we've got our general info, right? And that's the field here where we put in that information that turns up at the bottom of the event listing that we see. And that's pretty much set and forget. Under social links, this is where you want to put your links to your terms, T's and C's, and also your privacy policy. But here, if you've got any extra text that you want to show on the ticket and also on the show listing itself, this is where you will put that. Now I mentioned also that there is info about the event, and we'll look at the event here, and we can see that there is ticketing info. Now here's our synopsis detail, but this is our ticketing info, and throughout the system we basically called it ticketing info because it's presented at the point where a buying decision is made for a ticket. So here we've got show ticket info, each ticket sold separately, blah 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 blah, and that is our notes that appears on the show and then also on the ticket itself. Speaking of tickets, obviously we can set up different types of tickets for different things, and we can see here that we also have ticket details and conditions. Now you might have a condition that is particular to this particular ticket, like this type of ticket, and this is where you would put that in. There's no real point in putting the same text on every single ticket. You might as well just put that on your agency text info and just set it once and not worry about it. But this is where you'll put anything that's particular to this particular ticket. In this case, it's our 42nd Street adult ticket, and there might be some specific terms or conditions applicable there. And the final place where we can put our notes is on the exhibition itself. If you excuse me. So if we go to the exhibition, we can actually see, and once again, we're only putting information here particular to this particular exhibition. Anything generic for the show run itself, you would put on the show notes, as we saw before, just up here under the ticketing information. But if there's something particular to this, and let's say, I don't know, for example, you've got like a come along in costume, or it's a sing along version of the show that you're just doing once or for a couple of particular exhibitions, this is where you would put the notes for that particular to that. So I'll just put in here actually, sing along. I'll sing along there and save that. And now when we look at our event, we'll see that particular event, I've only got one, right? Only got one, but you would actually see the information there. And so it does stick out on the ticket, rather the exhibition selection itself. You wouldn't want to put too much information in there because it's going to really there's just too much to read. Like you can see here, I've put way too much information on the ticket. This is the actual ticket info itself. You really need to be brief. Otherwise, there's just too much information on the screen. It's sort of information overload. They've got far too much to read. So we keep this stuff brief. If they want to get more information, I would say that if there's stuff that's general to your agency, then you would actually put that in your own T's and C's. And it's incumbent upon the customer, to read those if they want to. But you really wouldn't want to also put them everywhere all over the page. Now, where it does actually become important though is on the ticket itself, because that's the printed merchandise that we give to our customers. And I've just actually made a booking, so I won't make another booking on this one. I'll just go into my bookings here and go to the ticket, print the ticket up, and you can see that what we have here is the this is for, obviously each ticket is for a separate exhibition. And here we've got the exhibition info right at the top. So that's the information that's particular to this exhibition. Then we've got the general show information right underneath that, and then we've got the general agent information now. So it starts at that sort of very granular level for the exhibition, then it's show, and then it's agent. So I hope you get a sense that you wouldn't want to duplicate any sort of information across those three areas. Just keep them very specific to the area where you're setting them up. And there we also have the ticket info. So the ticket info is actually on every single ticket. And obviously in this case, we've got 2 tickets for the same exhibition. So we do see some duplication here between the actual notes itself, and then a general disclaimer and information at the bottom. So that's where that information turns up. It can get pretty wordy and lengthy. But that's up to you really, as to how much information you want to put on the ticket itself that you present to your users. That's the information. I hope you found that useful, and any questions, feel free to use the contact form on the website. Thanks.